Ellen Contreras.
Welcome to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras. Treasure Coast Connector is the talk show and online community where we put a spotlight on interesting local businesses and resources, then connect them to you, the consumers in the community. Everyone has an interesting story of why they do what they do. When we learn about what's happening in our own backyard and support local businesses, it strengthens our local economy. For details on the show, links to discounts, promos, past interviews, check out www.tcconnector.com. Are you feeling like you're in a rut with your appearance, your life, your personal brand? Joining me in the studio today is a woman who completely gave herself an overhaul of her life and her appearance, and now she helps others. Dr. Charlotte Chun, she has a master's. I have to read this because it's a lot. She has a master's in applied cognition and neuroscience and a PhD in clinical psychology. In addition to being a licensed psychologist, she is a stylist with expertise in branding and market research, and she's here with some wonderful tips and advice and here to talk about her practice. So welcome to the show, Dr. Charlotte.
Hi, Ellen. Thanks so much for having me today.
Or Dr. Charlotte Chun, may I?
There you go. You may.
I
yes.
may. Okay. All right. So now normally my first question is meant to just, be a brief overview of why you do what you do, but your personal story is amazing. And we're going to just tell people later on to go to your website to look at your about section. I'm just going to say now, Dr. Chun, CHUNDR, coaching.com. The About section, I'm looking at these wonderful pictures of you, and I'm like, oh, cute. Oh, look. Oh. And then you went from this beautiful, happy, girl next door. I'm not going to say plain Jane, but cute. And then you went to stunning and alluring. Oh, my goodness. Okay. So I want people to understand how you evolved and then why you started your practice.
Yeah, absolutely. So, growing up, I always loved to play with style. As a kid, I was, that kid who loved to play dress up. And as a teenager, I would sew and alter my clothes. I just viewed style really as an outlet for creative expression. So, everything that we present to the world is really a reflection of what's going on inside of us.
Very true.
And that's been so true throughout my entire style journey. So before I went through this major transformation, this was several years back, I had reached a point in my life where I was feeling really burned out. I was going through divorce and separation at the time. I had just come out of 8 years of long graduate studies.
Schooling, yes.
And there was a, global pandemic going on. So there was a lot.
To top it all off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If we needed anything else, there was a lot happening. And so, I just felt exhausted. And, that showed in my appearance and also in the way that I carried myself. I really felt different. I, was afraid to let my light shine. I was so focused on what other people would think of me and just really pouring my energy into overachieving and people pleasing that I really neglected what was going on inside. And you can see that, if you look at photos from how I dressed before, you see it in the clothes that I wore and how I carried myself.
Yeah, this picture that Cindy just flashed. So people that are watching on iHeartRadio, and the podcast, they can't see this, but what I see on the left, and I said this before we started taping, is just cute, happy, healthy, smiley young lady. And then on the right, it's not so much that you just changed your hair and your clothes. The woman looking at that camera, the conviction, the internal transformation is so evident in that photo. It is remarkable. So I'm going to point to the camera and tell you drchuncoaching.com, and then you can get on her socials and just see these amazing photos.
Yeah, check out the before and afters. They are pretty striking. the way that I was dressing before, it was very minimal. I was afraid of being too extra. I really shrunk myself down. I was wearing all black. And I had just lost that
That's a New York
joy
thing,
that I
by
had.
the way.
Yeah, that too.
You're going to fit up there when you go there in a few
Right.
months. Yeah.
But I was missing that. I missed that excitement that I used to have with style. So all of that going on during the pandemic, I knew that I needed to make a change. So I really took the time to slow down. I tuned back into myself. And I really went to a cocoon during COVID, and some beautiful things came out of that. So one of them being like a really renewed passion and inspiration around style. So I took the time to, I'm such a style nerd here. I took the time to study it in depth. So I learned all about, what clothing works for different body types, color theory, and what colors work for different skin types. And at the time, I had started to do some style and color consults for my friends and family just for fun. And then, of course, I applied that to myself as well. And I gave myself, as you mentioned, a complete makeover.
Yeah.
Hair, makeup, clothes, everything. But really, it was not just head to toe. It was
the
inside out.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, I tapped into that inner essence and was able to start dressing in the way that I always wanted, right? Expressing my personality, capturing my spirit, and it made a huge difference.
Yeah, and your wardrobe is beautiful because, you and I have been to different events together and stunning.
Oh,
stunning.
thank you.
Even the gloves, you had ladylike
Yes, my
gloves
lace
at Anna
gloves.
Valencia's lunch. So yes, and what I like about the fact that being a psychologist, right, and a neuroscience scientist, okay, you understand what makes people tick.
Definitely.
But now you've taken that and then you've added it to the style and branding for personal and business. We'll get into that in a moment. So like it's amazing. You're not just a stylist. Like you understand why people think the way that they think. I'm looking over at your mother. We have, in the studio audience, we have one chair for the studio audience. Oh my goodness, we need more. But that's a whole other story. Okay, so now how does your educational background help you with the work that you do?
It helps so much. I mean, it's really integral to what I do with style. It's marrying that love of art and science. So on the science side of things, I have that very analytical mind. So I love to really break things down and kind of understand how they work. I'd done my master's research in France in a lab working in visual perception.
In France, lovely.
And
good fashion over there too.
Yes, well, that's where the all black came from. That was the original inspiration there. But yeah, I was in this world of perception, teaching classes and running research studies on creativity and art appreciation. And so really kind of getting that deep understanding of why we like what we like and, what's pleasing to the human eye. So this is, for me, one of the biggest benefits of what I can offer to my clients is explaining to them why certain style elements really look good on them. So that way they can kind of understand it and apply it going forward for years, right? Like even as our style changes over time, you want to know those underlying principles, like the visual lines, the silhouette, the colors, all these elements that make you look your best. I give my clients that personalized formula for how they can look their best.
I like that because then they're owning their look.
Yes.
They're not pretending
Not
like
at all.
I used to dress this way, but I'm just going to do this now.
Right.
And then they feel like they're still like the old self is still there, but you're really educating them so that when they step out, they're not just walking into a room, they're gliding, they're strutting
I
into
love
a
it.
room.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Now, we are still we're taping this at the end of February, and it's still, that beginning of the year, and people want to have the best year ever. So, what are some considerations that men and women can take if they want to level up their appearance?
So the first thing I would say is definitely learning what colors work for you. For me, that's really like the biggest bang for your buck. Figuring out your skin tone and, really understanding those colors that are going to make you glow. I mean, you look out, and maybe not as much here in Florida, but again, back, East Coast where I was, you look out and you see this sea of like gray and navy.
Gray, navy,
black,
charcoal, black.
Neutrals.
Yeah.
And, for a lot of skin tones, it just really drains people. It doesn't suit them. And so as you're getting dressed in the morning, it takes no time at all to just throw a shirt on, but the shirt in the wrong color will make you look exhausted. It'll make you look even a bit sick, maybe. Whereas the right color can just make you glow. It brings you to life. Even if you're running low on sleep, like you look fresh, right?
Yeah.
So I think figuring out the colors that work for you is key. Yeah. And, I do offer personalized color consults where I'll create actually like a custom palette for that individual so that every morning when you get dressed, you're reaching for things that are going to light you up.
Yeah, that is wonderful. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to take a break before Cindy throws something.
Sure.
Yeah, she's waving the sign now. But what I want to do is I want to just give your phone number 267 417 4574 and the email hello@drchuncoaching.com. And we're going to get more into your services and how you help people after. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss this.
At Sunshine Furniture, our 35,000 square foot showroom is filled with the largest selection of in-stock coastal furniture on the Treasure Coast. Dining and bedroom sets, occasional tables, sofas, sleeper sofas, love seats and chairs, including lots of slipcover styles from Universal Upholstery, Four Seasons, and Capri. We also have a gallery of Tommy Bahama and Lexington furniture designed for a relaxed approach to the finer things in life. And right now, all pictures, lamps, and accessories are half price. Sunshine Furniture, $12.95 US 1 in Vero Beach next to Planet Fitness. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com and also visit our outlet and closeout store directly across the street.
Sunshine Furniture, the best in every way. Have a sunshine day. Sunshine Furniture, stop on in today. Have a sunshine day.
Kinky Boots is coming to Riverside, a dazzling extravaganza with music and lyrics by Cyndi Lauper. It's the story of a failing shoe factory. When the owner meets up with a fabulous drag queen, she helps him save the business. Winner of the Tony for Best Musical, Kinky Boots, is now playing at the beautiful Riverside Theater in Vero Beach. But you don't have to wait. Get your best tickets now at the box office or online at riversidetheater.com.
It's time to call Easy Brew Coffee and Bottled Water Service and learn just how much you can save and how convenient it is to have your coffee and bottled water delivered right to your home or office. In addition to water coolers, Easy Brew offers individual bottles of water in 8 or 16-ounce bottles. No more lugging it home or dragging it into the office. Serving the Treasure Coast for over 2 decades, 2 letters, 1 simple name. Easy for Easy Brew. Visit e-zbrew.com or call 800-792-3285. Easy Brew.
I'm your host, Ellen Contreras, and I've been chatting with Dr. Charlotte Chun, and she is a clinical psychologist. Did I get that right?
Yes,
Licensed clinical psychologist. She's a neuroscientist, and she helps people work on their inside into outer transformation, personal branding, corporate branding. So when it comes to the everyday person, not a business owner, but they really feel like they need to level up. Okay. What type of services do you offer for that? And like, what is it like to start working with you? Yeah,
so I've got a lot of services. They're all offered virtually. So I work with people from all over the world. And a great way to get started, for someone who's totally new to this, I actually offer a free 15-minute style consult if somebody wants to get just a quick tip, on how to look their best. So there's that. There's also a good introductory service is the wardrobe audit. So that's a fun one. People share some photos of, some of their favorite outfits. And then we hop on a call and I'll give them, personalized feedback and some recommendations about how they can really take their style to the next level.
Very good.
So I have some a la carte services as well, for people who just need help with one specific thing. I mentioned, the color consultations.
Yeah.
Maybe you feel comfortable in your style, but you're a little confused about your skin tone or what colors would look best. So there's those kind of one-off services.
Yeah.
But really the main style service that I offer is called the Signature Style Package. And this is really the full package. So you get individualized recommendations about your body type, your skin tone and coloring, and most importantly, your inner essence, or kind of that vibe or impression you give off, and how you can really dress in a way that honors those and draws out your natural beauty. So I give, clothing, hair, makeup, and jewelry recommendations. And then I create a custom lookbook, like a collage of outfit ideas that will inspire someone to look their best going forward.
Very nice. And then I'm sure people can check in with you on occasion. So somebody who's gone through that whole transformation, maybe a year or two later, they can just check in with you for, a specific consult, right? And then you mentioned like an a la carte. So if someone is, let's say, they've graduated from college and they now are going to embark on some sort of corporate career or a creative career, whatever it is, and they don't know how to proceed forward with their outer, because when we're in college, a lot of the times we're in comfortable clothing, right? And you're just racing from class to class and, but when you're embarking on a career, that's a whole other story.
It is. And, actually, it's funny you mentioned that, because the majority of the people that I work with are going through some kind of life transition, right? So whether that's getting into the workplace for the first time or people who are retiring and they're trying to figure out, how can my wardrobe match my new lifestyle? People going through personal transformations in their life, like I mentioned, getting divorced and starting to date again, moving to a new city. There's lots of reasons why you might want to kind of refresh yourself and look your best.
Absolutely. And then on the corporate side, people that are business owners, you help with their branding, okay, and even market research and things like that. So talk about the corporate side of things a little bit.
Sure. So in the branding services, I do both personal branding and corporate branding. And your personal brand is like that overall impression you give off. It's your image, it's your voice, your identity. It's the way that you present yourself to the world. So I do work with individuals one-on-one to create a customized personal brand guide. And this is great for people who need to be really intentional about the way that they show up. So this could be anyone who's public facing, actors, lawyers, real estate agents, executives. You want to be thoughtful about the kind of image that you put forth in the world. So I create a brand's guide document that really puts words to, who you are and what you stand for, and kind of brings that to life through, powerful language, different images, and that's the personal brand guide. But what I found, in transitioning to corporate branding is that a lot of people get their start as a business owner working as a solo entrepreneur.
Right.
So they are the face of their brands. And then as their brands, continues to evolve and their business grows, maybe they hire on some more team members. All of a sudden, it's not just them, right? They need to expand their branding and really let the company have its own voice and its own identity so that everyone on the team will have that North Star to align with as they are presenting the brand to the world. So I can help early business owners kind of make that transition into a bit larger company brand. And I do that through, I do consultations, I run some workshops, and then I also create sort of a done-for-you corporate brand guide. So again, this is a document that, beautifully kind of brings to life who your company is and what you stand for. So it's a great, really practical investment. If people are launching their website, for example, you can actually pull the language directly from the brand guide and, to write your About Us page.
Nice.
Talk about like mission, your values, your unique selling points, And then you can share that document not only internally with your own team members, but if you work in media, for example, or you have a contract partner, you can share it externally as well to make sure that everyone's on the same page.
Mm-hmm. Well, I love that. Now, but there are some mistakes that people have made with their corporate branding.
Sure.
So what are some of those mistakes and what can be done about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, probably the biggest mistake that I see people making is relying on, there's a lot of great online software and tools out there now, but people will kind of rely on that to create their brands, to create the visuals, to come up with the messaging. They'll use AI.
Yeah. Canva.
Yeah. I mean,
There's nothing wrong
These are
with,
great tools if you know how to use them. But when people kind of pick something randomly, maybe they use a template and they cobble it together, it's not cohesive, right? They're lacking that strong brand value to pull the thread through everything that they're presenting. So what I help companies do is to really clearly define their brand first, and then you can use some of those tools to bring that brand to life through the messaging and the images that you use.
Yeah.
I like to think about it like building a house. You've got to have that strong foundation first before you go in and start decorating. So it all stems from that brand identity.
Yeah. Who am I? What am I about? What am I trying to achieve here? And what do I want my clients to know and understand and things like that? Okay.
100%.
Very good. So I am going to read off your phone number.
Sure.
Okay. So for those, because honestly, if you want to take yourself to the next level in your personal life or your work life, because it makes you just more secure, confident, happier, and then it can also help you make more money too. I'm just saying. Okay, that's my personal opinion, of which I have many. Okay, 267-417-4574 is how you call Dr. Charlotte Chun, or email hello@drchuncoaching.com. And then, of course, drchuncoaching.com is the website. Oh my gosh, they have to go and check out your story and all of the photos, and then follow her on social media, and then call for a consult. You will not be disappointed. We have about she gave us, so I had forgotten to tell you that this means we have 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
So we're going to take 60 seconds.
Sure.
Because you know what's happening? I went to yoga this morning, but I did not wear my yoga outfit here. Okay. I know people want to be comfortable.
Absolutely.
But yoga pants do not have to be worn 24/7 in Publix and everywhere else. We can be comfortable.
Absolutely.
But beautiful. Can you explain how we can look a little nicer without wearing yoga pants all the time?
Yes. I mean, there's lots of comfortable pants these days that are available, but really, regardless of what you choose, it all comes back to getting in touch with yourself. So however you're feeling, what mood you want to convey each day, really just tapping into yourself and then dressing in a way that captures that. That's how you're going to feel comfortable, and that's how you're going to, be authentic and be able to look your best.
Because I would like to start a movement, and it's actually already started, even with millennials, about not being too casual.
I love it.
I'm going to start it. You help me out on this.
I'm on board.
Okay. And I want to say thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you, Ellen.
You're going to help untold millions of people, because this can be watched wherever anyone has an internet connection. So thank you for being here. And thank you everyone for listening and watching. I hope that you all have a safe, wonderful, productive week. My name is Ellen Contreras, host of Treasure Coast Connector. And until next week, I miss you already.